I headed back to the settlement and got to work on crafting up some of the wooden materials needed for the tavern, and getting almost everything I needed for it, excluding 11 black carpets, 14 glass, and 4 beds, as well as a few oak stairs. So, all in all, I think day 5 was a pretty productive day, even if we did lose a villager. Day 6, I immediately headed back over to our lovely neighbours to borrow some sugar. Now, by sugar, I mean white beds, and by borrow, I mean steal, to never return it, and use on my own tavern. Now, whilst I was in the village, I also decided to grab up some wood from around their farms for whatever reason, as well as grabbing some sand from down by the water before heading back to the settlement to hand in the materials and cook up the sand into glass, where I then quickly found out that I am now malnourished, so that's nice. My lack of self-care aside, I headed out in search of some sheep so that I can actually get the carpets I needed. Now, whilst hunting the sheep, I found a lone house in a nearby forest that had a couple of people living in it, but the chests didn't have any loot, so they get a pass from my pillaging for now. After a little while of searching for sheep and only getting pigs, I decided to head back home, finding a chest in the village that had an enchanted iron hoe inside of it. So I yoinked it and made my way over to a nearby swampy area to take out some squids for some black dye. However, after carelessly throwing myself into the water, I came face to face with a crocodile that began chasing me. So I channeled my inner Steve Irwin and juked it out so that I could grab my ink sacs in peace. In the morning, I headed back out to find some sheep when I noticed that the lone survivors from earlier were evolving by building a little hut. Oh, I tell you, they have some nerve building this close to my settlement without paying me taxes. I'll have to come back here later and teach them a thing or two. But for now, I have bigger fish to fry. And by fish, I mean sheep, and by fry, I mean give a haircut. Yes, I used the same joke twice in a row, and there's nothing you can do about it. Anyways, after a few minutes of searching, I actually ended up finding a couple of sheep that I trimmed up a few times before heading back home with all the wool I needed. Once I got back, I crafted up some ladders for the miner so that he can actually, start mining, and quickly ran to the tavern to sleep because there were already mobs all over the place and I didn't want to lose another villager. Well, I did manage to get to sleep last night, but we still lost another villager, and when I went to check on the grave, I almost needed one for myself because I